Remember we were talking about these knee walls to attic. This is an attic space. We're actually in a garage, but there's actually an unvented attic. There's no ventilation whatsoever in this attic space that's actually above the garage. So there's going to be a huge amount of heat building up inside this attic space. Now we have this knee wall situation with these fiberglass bats, and on the other side of this fiberglass is conditioned space. So it's a 2x4 wall, so they have an R13 above, but since this is actually in the attic space, then what they have to do is transition up above in the conditioned space at R13, but when it's exposed to the attic, it must be an R19. So they actually have to cut the R13 in where it's protruding into the attic in this situation. It has to be an R19.
Okay, Scott, so what do we have here?
Well, since the insulation is down all the way, or it's supposed to be down against this conditioned surface, you know, we have little gaps here. The insulation should be down against the drywall or up against the conditioned surface. So if they're going to go ahead and bring it down to the drywall into the ceiling of the garage, okay, then there's a little section out here that needs to be insulated because it's open. There's an open space. We have to protect it from the outside. So let's pull this back and see what they did. Okay, see what they did. They did put insulation up there.
Hey, wait a minute. Let me look up there. Oh, okay. So that's
there is insulation up there. But what they did is they took a bat and they call what they call this. Energy Commission calls this buckling it.
So they
folded it, which compresses the insulation at the fold line. What they should have done was cut a piece, fit it back there, and then had the other piece go and butt up to it, so there's no compression. Anytime you buckle it or make that bend, when you bend it, you're compressing it more than 50%.
Right, I can see that.
So you need to cut it, put this piece up in there, okay? That would be just like any other section. We call this a rim joist or band joist, okay? It needs to go ahead and get installed up there, like in one piece, and up against that surface back there. Cut this off and fit it in. But it's easier and faster just for them to take it and just put it in there in one piece.
So I'm just going to look at the other side here so we can see. So what that is that's actually the subfloor. That's between the floor and the ceiling in the garage.
The ceiling of the garage and the floor up above, which is that orange wood there.
And what they're supposed to do is insulate that orange piece of wood from the attic space, which we just looked at. Okay.
Because it's going, the heat's just transferring, conducting through that plywood and bypassing, you know, the insulation.
Especially if they don't have that whole bay filled with insulation.
Exactly. Or up against the subfloor.
Or up against the subfloor.
See, if it was up against the subfloor, that insulation was all the way up, they would still need to insulate the side, but down below instead of up on top.
Right. Okay.